Welcome back to the Batman versus Superman serial showdown and also a bunch of history and stuff, starring me, your host, Chad White. Okay, this is for cpluscomedy.com, also youtube.com/cpluscomedy. We've got the latest and greatest in all the news and stuff. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, now, you've watched the first few videos. I assume as much. The first video was Superman, in which we talked about Superman's history. We read the back of the box, which is a quiz, and we also ate some of the cereal. And then the second video was me talking about Batman, and then we read the back of the box, ate some of his cereal, and we talked about his history. And now, this is the third and final video in a series that is ending way too close to the premiere date of Batman vs. Superman. Alright? Now, we're going to talk about the Justice League and what they mean to both Batman and Superman, and their history, as well as some comic stuff and a lot of TV stuff and no movie stuff, because there has yet to be a film based on the Justice League that is good. Okay, first up, we're going to talk about who started the Justice League and why. Now, the founding... Okay, first up, we're going to talk about the Justice League, who started it and why. Now, the founding members include, of course, Superman and Batman, but then we've also got the Green Lantern, sometimes Hal Jordan, sometimes John Stewart, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman, and, of course, the Martian Manhunter. Now, recently, that was retconned in Flashpoint, and now they're saying he's not really a founding member. But whatever. Okay, so Martian Manhunter sometimes. Now, the Justice League is kind of an offshoot of the Justice Society of America, which is a team that was around in the early 40s, and it's filled with like Hawkman, the early Flash, and a bunch of other heroes like Wildcat, who are just like the older versions. They fought during the Silver Age and the Bronze Age, and they're really old. They're really old superheroes at this point in time. Really does not matter, but they do have their own history, which is kind of neat, but also kind of boring at the same time, because they're not, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and our Flash, Barry Allen, or whoever you want your Flash to be. Wally West is my Flash. Then in the 1960s, the Green Arrow joined, of course, Oliver Queen. Then we've got Adam, Ray Palmer, Hawkman, and then the Black Canary. And then moving on to the 70s, we've got the Phantom Stranger, Elongated Man, Hawkgirl, Red Tornado, and Zatanna, who is active in a different Justice League called Justice League Dark, who we'll talk about in a few minutes. Then, of course, there's Firestorm, Steel, which is a movie that Shaq's starting. Let's not forget that. Second time I mentioned that. Vixen, who always dates the John Stewart Green Lantern in the TV show. We've got Vibe, who is Paco Ramon. And then we've got Gypsy. And then we're moving on to the different styles. Wait, hold on. Okay. So now the Justice League have met the Avengers a couple times. There have been crossovers between DC and Marvel. Of course, the first time they met the Avengers was in DC versus Marvel, which is a giant fanboy book that you're allowed to vote on which characters fought and which ones and who won all the fights and everything. And it was really it's not right now a good read compared to the second time they met. It was only 4 issues, and it ran from April to May in '96, and it featured a lot of primary battles. So we've got Aquaman versus Namor, the Battle of the Sea, Elektra versus Catwoman, Flash versus Quicksilver. Okay, let's do it again. All right. There were 6 primary battles between a lot of the characters, and we're going to run through that right now really quick. We've got Aquaman versus Namor, and Aquaman won by crushing Namor with a whale. And then we got Elektra versus Catwoman. Elektra won and by making Catwoman fall off the building. Flash versus Quicksilver. Flash won due to his better speed, because Quicksilver is a mutant. or if you're going by the movies now, then I guess an experiment. But he's not that fast compared to Flash. We got Robin versus Jubilee, and this Robin was Tim Drake, and he won by being Sleuth. Then we got Silver Surfer versus Green Lantern. Silver Surfer won when both of them collided with each other and released a huge explosion that knocked out the Green Lantern, and Silver Surfer was not hurt at all. We got Thor versus Captain Marvel, Battle of the Lightning Gods. Thor won because Captain Marvel was forced to change back to his alter ego Billy, and Billy's that little boy that turns into, Captain Marvel by saying Shazam, the magic words. Then we've got Superman versus Hulk because that's how the brawls go, and Superman won that one. But I'd like to see a real computer generated fight between Superman and the Hulk, because the Hulk, if he just gets angry or say bloodlusted, then he could pretty much be unstoppable. And Superman, you just give that guy off the leash and he goes crazy. Spider-Man versus Superboy. Spider-Man wins by electrocuting Superboy. We got Batman versus Captain America, probably the fight that everybody wants to see now. Batman won by knocking Captain America out with his Batarang. And then we've got Wolverine versus Lobo, which is a great battle in itself. Wolverine beats Lobo in a bar fight, which is pretty much not in the book itself. You can't really see it anywhere because it's off panel. Then we got Storm versus Wonder Woman, because you need women in there at some point. It was the late 90s, guys. Mid-90s. And then we've got Storm versus Wonder Woman, and Storm won after beating Diana with her lightning after a few fists were thrown. Now, all the fights were started mostly because of two gods, well, actually entirely because of the two kind of winning godlike people in the separate universes. There was Spectre for DC and the Living Tribunal for Marvel, and they just brought together the two universes and they collided, and then they were like, we want to see you fight. There's a lot more to it, but again, it's only 4 issues and I want to give away the entire story. So for the JLA Avengers story, it follows Krona, who it was all started because of Krona So for the JLA Avengers story, Krona and exiled Owen is going across the multiverse actually, destroying all of the universes he runs into as he searches for the reason for creation, which is kind of stupid because he's like, I'm going to destroy your universe. You can't tell me? All right, cool. I'm going to kill you guys. Then he runs into the Marvel universe, and the Grandmaster, who wanted to save his universe, is like, hey man, I'll introduce you to my friend Galactus, who witnessed the beginning of the universe, if you can beat me in this game. And then so he decides to play the game. And so what they decide to do is the Avengers will represent Krona, and the Justice League hold on. Yeah. All right. So the Avengers who aren't really on... So the Avengers who are kind of the adversaries of the Grandmaster represent Krona, and the Justice League from the Krona's universe will fight for the Grandmaster, and that means the Avengers must lose the game in order to save the universe. So what they do is they go around to the different worlds and they have to find these special objects that are part of the world, like the Green Lantern's lantern, like Hal Jordan's lantern. They have to go find his lantern and then collect it, take it back. They have to find the Infinity Gauntlet. They have to find the Wand of Watum. They have to find a Spear of Destiny. All this different stuff, and they have to collect it all. And whoever has the most power items, then they win, of course. So that means that nobody really does that stuff. So the Justice League goes to the Marvel Universe, and they find that world is just as screwed up as theirs. So they all get mad, and they're like, the Avengers suck. They're not good heroes. We're going to have to save this own world from ourselves. And the Avengers go to the DC Universe, and they think that the futuristic architecture of the Earth cities and the honoring of the superheroes rather than the hating of the superheroes in their world is kind of, different from what they have. And as a result, Captain America thinks that the Justice League is kind of uppity and up their own butts about being superheroes. When in reality, it's the citizens that are doing all this stuff. They're not asking for all this praise and everything. Save for Booster Gold. It's a great story. JLA Avengers and DC versus Marvel are two worthwhile books you go get. They're fun. They're a great read. But now we're gonna move on to the different types of Justice Leagues. Of course, in the New 52, when everything started over, everything was taken back. And like I said, Martian Manhunter, after Flashpoint, is now not a founding member of the Justice League. So right now in the Justice League, it's only Batman, Superman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. And these are all founding members as of 2011. And to add on to that, the other members of the team include Shazam, Billy Bastion, of course, Lex Luthor, Captain Cold, and Power Ring. Lex Luthor and Captain Cold were added after This Lex Luthor is an escapee from Earth 3. He was a prisoner, and he was brought over to Earth 1, and he was going to be executed, but then they found out he was that world's Shazam, and now he has superpowers, all this stuff, blah, blah. He's Alexander Luthor. And then Captain Cold was pardoned by the government, and now he's a good guy, fighting for truth and justice and all that good stuff. Next up, we have Justice League Dark, which is the team of Justice Leaguers that are mostly supernatural powered. So in that team, we have Constantine, Madame Xanadu, Shade, Deadman, the Changing Man, and Zatanna. And these are all, they fight the fight that Justice League can't when they need magic and stuff in order to win. So they do darker stuff. And now that team was going to be put in a movie made by or produced by Guillermo del Toro, but then that fell apart, but they might still be doing it. But of course, they're really hesitant because magic and DC and Marvel and the movies and TV worlds is just so gosh darn hard to do, and they seem to have trouble doing it. After Justice League Dark, we of course have Justice League International, which is a team formed by the U.S. to be a world team that's formed... Oh, fuck. Okay. Next up, we have Justice League International, Next up, we have Justice League International, which is a team that was formed by the U.S. in order to be run by the government in order to not have secret identities. So that means anybody on this team is, sanctioned by the U.S., kind of like the Civil War in Marvel, and now that everybody has to be either pro-registration or against registration. So on that team, there is Booster Gold, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Fire, Ice, Batman, Batwing, Blue Beetle, and Vixen. Next up, we have Justice League of America, which was created by Amanda Waller, who's the Argus leader, and Steve Trevor after Throne of Atlantis, which was a small little comic book, not series, but small little offshoot that had the League is captured by Ocean Master, who's taken the Throne of Atlantis, and he declares war on the world, and Cyborg has to enlist the help of other superheroes. So in Waller and Trevor's JLA, they have Steve Trevor as a leader, Martian Manhunter, Katana, Vibe, Stargirl, Catwoman, Green Arrow, and Dr. Light. They recently broke up after the Forever Evil, and which leads into the next team, Justice League United, which is basically JLA without Argus. So there's no Amanda Waller and no Steve Trevor. The members include Stargirl, Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, Animal Man, Adam Strange, Supergirl, and Hawkman. And then after that, we have Justice League 3000, which is a 21st century heroes that are brought back to life in the 31st century, and they fight evil. So with that, we have Flash, Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Superman, who... I've never read Justice League 3000, anything that has to do with them, but I assume Superman just doesn't die. So, I'm not doesn't die, but like he ages slower, like a lot slower. So maybe hadn't died. Anyway, then after that, there's Super Buddies 3000, which is a mishmash and recreation of the original Super Buddies, which was in itself a parody of Super Friends, like the original cartoon, and was put together by Maxwell Lord, the super rich, sometimes mostly super villain guy, as a common man's super team, so that the people could understand it a little bit more. Then and also Jail International. Those members include Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Fire, Ice, Flash, and Green Lantern, and both were sent by Cadmus to monitor that team. So, who's scheduled to appear in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice? Well, we've got everybody right here, courtesy of GameSpot.com. And then here we go. Here's the team. We've got Batman, who's Bruce Wayne, and he's going to be getting mad at Superman for destroying his Wayne Financial. Of course, this Batman's going to be older, in his late 40s, early 50s, and it's going to be kind of an offshoot of the Dark Knight Rises, when he fights Bane, blah, blah, all this stuff. And he's going to be a little bit more cynical than we've seen in the movie so far, so expect this Batman not to be, Michael Keaton or Val Kilmer, or, any of those, Val Kilmer, right. Okay, Jean-Claude Van Damme-esque. Then we've got Superman, of course. Both of those guys are in the title. We knew this always. It's going to be Clark Kent, and he's going to be fighting... Oh, fuck. Do it again. And then we've got Superman, of course. And then we've got Henry Cavill's Superman at the same... Fuck, man. Then, of course, we got Superman, who will be fighting Batman and fighting the government, who's probably going to be throwing some sanctions out at Superman. I don't know if I'm using that term correctly, but of course, there's also going to be a lot of fist fighting and a lot of political fighting. The guy who has the power to save humanity also has the power to destroy it, and that's going to be kind of a neat thing. Hopefully, they take a look at the politics of the whole thing, and they have an interesting script to back it up. Then, of course, we've got Lex Luthor, pre-baldness. We've got Jesse Eisenberg playing a great kind of crazy Lex Luthor, almost Joker-esque, kind of like the Joker that is the good Joker, not this one that kills people. The one that's like a clown. And unlike the past incarnations, this one's much younger and he's more eccentric, kind of like they say evil Mark Zuckerberg, which makes a lot of sense. That's what I get. And he's just as cynical as Batman. And if there's... All right. And for some reason, of course, he wants to kill Superman. So we'll hopefully find that out, his reasoning for hating Superman. But it's going to be great to see a Lex Luthor that's a little bit more unhinged and one that doesn't carry himself as well as Clancy Brown's in the cartoon series or as Kevin Spacey's in Superman Returns, which is still a great movie. Shut your mouth. And then, of course, we got Doomsday, who's going to be terrorizing Metropolis. Or well, actually, yeah, I know what he's going to be doing. But we've seen him in the trailers. This one doesn't look as ugly as the cartoon ones. Chad, in the future, I'd like you to put a picture of the cartoon Doomsday right here, just right there. Don't edit this part either, just right here. Of course, Doomsday is going to be this huge hulking monster that cannot be stopped. This Doomsday is going to be created by I assume, I don't know, but he's going to be created by Lex Luthor, possibly using Michael Shannon Zod's body. Who knows? Because there's been the lightnings and stuff inside that huge domed area in the trailers. I don't know. I've yet to see the movie. Comes out in 3 days, and people's already seen it, so I'm trying to stay away from the internet. It's clear that, of course, Batman and Superman are going to have to come together to fight him, along with Wonder Woman, who apparently gets a lot of time in the movie. So we'll see what happens there. Of course, speaking of Wonder Woman, she's in the movie. She's going to be doing all the things. She's going to be a diplomat for her home, Themyscira, and of course, she's going to be also Wonder Woman. So that's how we get both sides. We get the political side, which is Diana herself. She's going to be working at I don't know what she's gonna be at a party or something like that, talking to Henry Cavill's Clark Kent, and then we got Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. She's probably gonna fall more for Clark Kent because he's Superman, and that's how the love triangle works. Little note about Wonder Woman. She's 5,000 years old, and she is the demi-goddess daughter of Zeus. So if you didn't know anything about Wonder Woman, then here we go. We're about to learn you some stuff. She has superhuman strength. She's got flight. She's got the speed, endurance, durability, all that good stuff. She's a master hand-to-hand combat, and she has indestructible bracelets that she uses to block bullets with. Then she has the lasso of truth, and she's got a weaponized tiara that she throws around. And then a lot of times she fights with a sword. So if you ever played Injustice: Gods Among Us, of course, then you've seen her slash around with that sword. That's her slow mode. And then, of course, she was made as a feminist icon in the early 40s, kind of like a thing for justice, love, and gender equality among not just among superheroes, but among the world. She was created during the World War II to fight the Axis military forces, as well as an assortment of, colorful supervillains like Cheetah and the Growing Woman, whose name I'm always forgetting. The Growing Woman, the one that gets really tall. And Ares and Cersei and Dr. Psycho. Giganta, that's her name. Boom. I'm smart. Now she's going to have her own movie in the future. Of course, it's coming out in 2017. In that movie, we'll see Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, and Lucy Davis, and a bunch of other people like Robin Wright, and it's gonna be fantastic. There's also a cartoon version of the DC animated universe. They have a Wonder Woman that's pretty good, and it shows her origin, and it shows her love with Steve Trevor, all this good stuff. It's fantastic. Go look at it. Of course, we have Lois Lane, played by Amy Adams, who's gonna be doing some Daily Planet stuff probably. I don't know where this movie actually takes place. I don't know if it takes place in Metropolis or Gotham. In fact, I'm sick of both of those cities. Take it to Central City so we can see the Flash. After that, we've got Perry White, Lawrence Fishburne. After that, we've got Alfred Pennyworth, who will not be a butler this time, played by Jeremy Irons. He will be a bodyguard. This is something I just recently learned as soon as last week. He's gonna be... He's going to be the head of security, the chief of security of Wayne Industries and Bruce Wayne. And despite these changes, Alfred's role as Batman's primary remote support is the same. Delete that last part, Chad, please. After that, we got Martha Kent. Of course, Diane Lane will be the mom, and she'll be there for some reason, probably talking to Clark about his powers and how he doesn't understand them. And then we got General Zod. He's dead, so we've seen his body, so maybe he turns into Doomsday, maybe not. Maybe they bring him back. I'd love to see multiple supervillains if we're seeing multiple superheroes. Then we got Thomas and Martha Wayne. We'll probably have to watch them get shot one more time, and I can't wait. This is going to be fantastic to see his parents die again for the 9th time. Then we got Aquaman. Jason Momoa is going to be in here. Maybe, since this is my theorizing, that Wonder Woman's Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is going to be at a party for diplomats and stuff. Maybe. Then perhaps, since Aquaman is a diplomat for Atlantis, he'll be there repping Atlantis. So who knows? We'll see. Aquaman's a great character. Just had bad rap in some comics and some video games, and I think I genuinely like him. In Justice League, the cartoon, he was a good character. He's really, really, really badass. He's like, he had his hand chopped off, his hand chopped off, and he has a hook in it, and he can do all the different stuff. And he's kind of mean because he's like, you guys are polluting the waters, climate change. And he didn't sound like that. He didn't say anything like that. But he's a pretty good guy. Then along with Aquaman, we've got Cyborg, who's going to be played by Ray Fisher. And his name is Victor Stone. And he's going to be half man, half machine. But in the movie, he's probably not going to be Cyborg yet. Perhaps... He's playing football, and he's like, there's a truck, not a truck. There's the bus. They bring it into the city, the football stadium. The Doomsday's fighting, and his bus gets hit, and then his dad's like, Dr. Stone. He's like, we got to save him. And then he gets rebuilt, and then, boom, we have him in the movie. And then after that, we've got The Flash. Now, no one knew The Flash was going to be in the movie until there was a little screenshot that went away, that came out a couple weeks ago, where they were like, The Flash might be here. And he's definitely here. And they've got his head in the background, and he's going to be here somehow. So we don't know. Hopefully we get to see some of The Flash. In fact, I'm sick and tired of origin stories. I don't want to see origin stories. I know how The Flash starts. I know a lot of people don't know how, but the beginning parts of Spider-Man 2 and 3 when they recap the story, they could do that. They could do that for, Flash and Cyborg and Aquaman. And I honestly don't think Cyborg needs a movie. But, everybody's getting a movie these days. Everybody's getting a Netflix show. So, anyway, Batman vs. Superman is going to prove to be a pretty prominent movie in the superhero community. In fact, it's on a track to make $300 million in its opening weekend. So we'll see how well it does. I'm excited to see Doomsday and General Zod. Hopefully General Zod's body is not Doomsday, because that would just be too much given away. And hopefully we get to see Batman and Superman fight early on, but I want them to become friends super soon, because I hate it when friends in movies fight. I just think it slows the story down. Also appearing in the movie will be Mercy Graves, which is going to be Lex Luthor's assistant / bodyguard. She can do all types of fighting moves. She's usually a cyborg or a robot, but we'll see what they do with that. And Jenna Malone was cast as Barbara Gordon, but I don't think she's in the movie. Her scenes were cut from the theatrical release, but there's apparently going to be an Ultimate Edition that's going to be R-rated. Not because of nudity or dicks or anything. It's going to be R-rated because of fighting. There's going to be an extra 30 minutes. This movie, currently, as it stands, is 151 minutes. When it comes out on Blu-ray, and don't buy it on DVD, just buy it on Blu-ray, guys. It's 2016. But go digital, whatever. When it comes out on Blu-ray, it's going to be 181 minutes long. That's going to be huge. I wonder if they're going to have any tags at the end of the movie. I hope not, because I don't want to sit through, different shots. I don't care. I just don't care anymore. And now the time has come to choose the winner of the cereals. All right, so we have the Batman, we have the Superman cereal. Which one did I like? Which one tasted better? Well, if it wasn't obvious in the videos before, I think you already know who I chose. Let me unbutton this shirt and show you. I've chose the winner is Superman. Superman won. I'm sorry to the Batman cereal. You just weren't good enough. Get out of here. It wasn't tasty. The Superman cereal is even better. I forgot that this was a cereal review, and I just talked a lot about Superman, Batman, and the Justice League. Hopefully, when this movie comes out, they have more stuff. I wanna keep watching it. This is gonna be good. This is good cereal. Go buy it. It's like $3, $4. I don't know. Whatever, where you buy your cereals at. Go watch Batman vs. Superman. Support Soups, and of course support the good old Bats himself. There is going to be a great movie. Ben Affleck might direct the next Batman movie. I'm sick of seeing Batman in the movies. Let's see some Flash. Hopefully Ezra Miller doesn't screw this up. It's going to say the F word. All right. That's it. Thanks for watching. Get out of here. Go buy the cereal. Go watch the movies. I'm done.